10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Welcome to IdiOtBlog 379. What are you guys doing this year? How was this year? How you doing this evening? How was your evening? Hope you're having a good time. Enjoying the BandLab, making music. I'm your host, Idiot Burns, and today we're listening to Ron O. You can find him at Obitrice. Obitrice. I think I got that right. Let me see. Let me double check. Let's look together. Yep, that's it. Obitrice. Ron O, thanks for liking my music. I was surprised to come over here and see you only had 8 followers and such cool music. While experimental, it's still cool. So I figured I'd drop some love, share who you are to the world over here on the live broadcast. Today's broadcast is being shared on 5 major platforms. YouTube, Twitch, and Mobcrush, it's being shared. Username IdiotBurns. On BandLab, it's being shared. Username IdiOtBlog. And at Facebook.com/Christopher Burns. I'm going to go ahead and double check those locations. Reshare it to my IdiOtBlog feed. Go on over to the YouTube studio. Approve that the video is not made for kids. Because it's not. It's not made for kids. This video is not made for kids. I'm going to loosen this down. Bring her down. Right there. There you go. And bring this guy up. Well, give me a twist. Come on up there. There you go. Get another twist. There we go. We got Scully here. Trying to get my pop screen a little further away from the mic. We got Scully here, hanging out with us. How you doing, Scully? You don't got any vocal cords, so you can't say shit. These shades are pretty crazy. They basically block my screen out because they're polarized, and they're really well polarized. So I just can't even see any light coming at me from this direction. If I go like this, I can see the screen fine, or like this. But like this, it's blocking those sunny waves coming off the screen. This song is called RP10 number 76. Is it an inspired by, or is this an original? It's like an original. Just got a comment by Jeremy Abbott there. He's a local for me. Should jam together. Ass. A guy just said ass in the so I'm gonna restrict that user. Just coming in here and swearing. See you later, dude. Yeah. Restricted. Sweet. How's everybody doing? Go double check, leave a like, and go double check that it's being broadcast on my Facebook as well. Yo, DK, what's up? That was a cool old memory of me feeding my daughter Ruby. I'll have to share that one too. Shared. And I'm gonna go see. Yep, looks like my blog's working just fine on my Facebook page. Get the hell out of there. Keep watch. It's weird. One of my screens gets totally obliterated by this polarization, and the other screen, nope, doesn't affect it at all. Mud Dunkin' nectar collecting. You got a nectar collector? A happy snooter? Armadillo toker? You a toker? You a smoker? You a midnight joker? These are fucked up. I can't see shit with those. I got some other creepy ones over here I can put on. Dropping permanent pens on the ground for my kids to play with. Don't do that. There we go. Those are the ones. I've had these ones, I don't know, since, let's say since 2001 I've been wearing these shades. Oh yeah, these give me like a, these make everything look good. Oh yeah, I know I love these ones for a reason. Ain't going anywhere. Better never lose them. Yep, blue blockers. You know what's up? These make the world look good. And they block all that bright blue light. And they make it like slightly green so your eyes are cool with it. And they also work really good when you're doing the blue light lasers from keeping yourself from going blind. Going Blind. A Kiss song. I love that song. And I think I'm going blind. Sleeps with my wife. Wears blue blockers. Sleeps with the old lady. You call me old? You like this? This is my condom tip. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I don't wear those things. Somebody else can tarp their load. I shoot loads. Ooh, that's gross, Chris. Don't say that. Weird music. Fourths and delay and pan and having fun. I did that all the time on my Line 6. Sad song next. I don't know how many minutes of music we're going to get by this guy, but we're going to get some for sure. Hey there, Joey Esther, Holy Grail, how you guys doing? Oh, that felt good. My first comment was on BandLab feed, and the comment was ASS. So I just hit restrict user. I haven't done that yet. I wanted to try it. Since the guy's first comment was ass, I might as well restrict him. Nothing good gonna come of that. Recorded 4 songs in the last 2 days. Last 48 hours. And released them. Hey, that thing keeps falling. It's my tool sticker on my amp to block the bright light so I don't have to. So at night, if I leave my amp on, I don't like wake up in the middle of the night annoyed by a light. Yeah, that's what I do. Plus, it looks cool. Doesn't look as digital that way. Sad songs, sad lyrics. Everyone's gone and everyone died. COVID-19 really came alive in 2021. And everyone's brain melted by the sun. They took that vaccine and you know there was no reversing it. The DNA, the splice was spreading along. No one could have kids anymore to replenish the earth. We were no more to replenish the earth. We were no more. The virus of man was defeated by a virus again. The last time it happened was 13,000 years ago. Now we're slowly moving back in time, you know. It's gone, 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 gone well. Gone well, and we're all gone to hell. Gone, 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 gone well. Gone well, now we're all going to hell. But there's less than 1 million on this planet Earth, and we're feeling so good, back to a natural state. Welcome to this healthy place. You can fill your plate with the beasts of this world. You know, you know, you know, you know, you know. This poisonous snake will grow, you know, you know, you know, you know. If we can't respect our own DNA, we'll go, we'll go, we'll go, we'll go. Eyes are bright red, that is not the fluff we blew. We know that it's not the up and fluff that we blew. It's the COVID. It wasn't even as bad as the flu, but you knew what we had to do. Reverse this disease on the earth. Ah, sweet. Yes, it has supported 100 billion over time, but the aliens are coming to eat us all when we hit 10 billion, so we know about that directive, and we decided to take the population back down again to avoid that directive and keep the evolution of man going, even if it takes a tip down the scales and back up again. You know, I've said this before. Could be. You never know. Probably ain't, but I just like thinking about it. My wife's happy, so she thinks, she's probably going to die tomorrow. You know how that is. Anybody else have that kind of thought? I'm happy right now, so I'll probably die tomorrow. That's a sad point of view. This is a trippy track called Trippy. I'm gonna drop some love on this one. This is the sound stuck in my head. Is it a 6 string or 7? 6 string. That's a nice looking axe. That fucking Ibanez? Yeah. Oh man, he's got a sweet looking Ibanez there in this track. Damn, that's nice. Damn, that's nice. I love that burl on the wood on the front end of that thing. I love that notched. I think that's what kind of style is that when they have that an S body with what's it called? What is it called? Those nice thinner bodies with the wizard necks. I always forget what those are. They're like a custom kind of thing. They're not custom, but they're, what are they called? Are they called customs? Or are they called? Shit, I can't remember. My old roommate used to have one. Is Julianne here? Julianne's making cards in the other room, hanging out with Luella. I don't know if she's on the blog or not. Not Gem, not RG. They have like this other third one that's like, it's like a thinner body. I'm gonna look it up right now on my other device. Thin-bodied Ibanez. S. Yeah, the S series continues to be the marvel of form and function. So let me show you here. The S series. The S series is one of the 2 series that came from the original Roadstar series. So the Roadstar led to the RG. The Gem was kind of a thing done with Vi, right? And the body was kind of unique and more pointy. But you see these here, these nubs, how this kind of comes in like a straight line right here? A couple of straight lines. They kind of emulate that on the shape of the S series, but they make the S series even one fold thinner than from the Roadstar to the... So yeah, RG is pretty sick. It's my favorite. It's super pointy. These are a little bit more rounded. Let me see if I can pull that up on here. I'm not even pulling it up. Oops. I go like this to do that. S series. This is trying to find a way to fix this shitty compressor. Yeah, look at the price range on these. Prestige series. That might be what I'm thinking. Prestige. Prestige. Yes, those are the ones I'm thinking. Check these out. Let's look for side view. Come on, show us a side view. Oh, you guys are... You got 2 photos on Musician's Friend? Get the hell out of here. Ibanez Prestige. That's what it is. It's not even S series. Prestige. When you really find the number, the name, then you find the name. I think these are them. Fuck. Like this. Let's see if this one's got it. Prestige. They're usually 24 frets. See, that's not even one. That's not even what it is. I think it is S series. Let's go S series. So he has an S series, I think. The Ibanez Prestige S. No. Fuck. This track is called No Picks Were Harmed. Yeah, there you go. S series. This is what these look like. This guy might have some cool shots. Hey man, what's up with that? S series. Ain't easy to look things up when you got a little buzz going. Ibanez. With an S. Don't think so. S series Ibanez. Yep, like this. You see the look of it. See that? A little bit big, wider on the horns. Yeah, they didn't show it on that. So look how thin it is. See how thin that is? Look at that. And look at that. Look at the way it joins. These are sick. These S series. I've always wanted one. Go into the full view. You can see how thin it is right here. Oh, look at how thin that is. Oh my god. They're super light. They sound great. It actually adds to the liveliness of the body. Yep. See how the horns are kind of wider compared to this RG, whose horns are pointy, and that's more like what they are on the RG, and the Gem has that with just like a little thing cut out right here. But they're standard like 2 inch or so, or just slightly less than 2 inches. That standard guitar body thickness, going back to that Fender thickness, you know. Yeah, the Gem 777. I love those. Exactly. 1989? Damn. You still got that Gem 7? This one is in 1984, 83, 84. Probably sold in 83, and it was an 84 model. They came out kind of earlier than they were. You know, they came out kind of early. It's got a lot of damage in the back from actually being gigged a bunch by me with a belt on. It's not like damage, just like this kind of slight scuffing. It's got 2 big old chips on the back, right here and here, and little dings here and here. It just takes damage. Just takes damage. It's like it's like painted white, but it has like this like thick clear coating that just chips off. It's just like hard shellac. But the cool thing is it gives it this real crispy tone. There goes the end of the recorded section. Yeah, this is Funk 125. Dude, the guitar that was just returned was bought when I was 1 year old. And that guitar is like 1 or 2 years younger than me. It's basically my age, you know? I love shit from my era, like Metallica from 1982, give or take. Why does this one side keep getting ahead of the other side? Oh, because one side's taking longer to load the songs. That's all it is. Keep having to get them in sync here by pausing one and then hitting play again. All good. This is E, C, G, and D. I wonder what the chords are. Look how he holds his pick. A lot like I do. Real close to that edge. Electra Phoenix X140? What the fuck is that? Electra Phoenix X140? I'm gonna look that up on a different phone. Electra Phoenix X140. What? That looks sweet. That looks a lot like a Burns guitar in that body shape, kind of that heavy cut on one side, low cut on the other side, and pointy ends, and then deeper curve on the upper end. It kind of has that Burns look to it. Burns guitars. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They're a pretty self-reliant, individualistic brand coming out of the Great Britain area. Jason Jacobs, what's up? We were talking to Ibanez and guitars as old as we are. Or I am, not as old as you guys. You guys are closer to the same age. They're not closer in age than me and you, Jason. Or me and you, DK. What are you, 60 years old, Jason? Just kidding. I think you're 50, right? I'm outing you. I'm having a drink tonight. This is not just your regular old standard. You got a Charvel Model 2 from '87. See, that's only 5 years younger than me. 33 years old. 51 now. You're getting older. But I was talking about this one. This one's like basically my age, like a year older than me. It's like an 83, late 83, 84 model, but came out in late 83. Ibanez. You can find it in the 1984 Ibanez books, the catalogs, but these are coming out in '83, and it says made in Japan, Ibanez made in Japan, G862029, but it's not an '86. I'll tell you that. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm wrong. I have done an episode about copyright laws and protections, fully done that. I don't know what episode it was, but I literally read from the BandLab guidelines everything that had to do with that. And then I later did one that had to do, with publishing and protecting yourself, artist to artist, and just in communicating and all that, from their guidelines on that. And then I did one that was just about like copyright and the fact that you sit down and you write something down, or you play it into any recording device, you instantly created the copyright for that song. Have you filed it to protect yourself from others using it? No, but you have created a copyright, and you are protected. That is your music, and it's plagiarism if they use it. Whether or not they know it or not, they could be doing it 100% uniquely, and you still win the case. You still get that money off the album. Like who is it that recently sued somebody and we don't know if they did it or not, but they basically wrote a very, very similar song. I think it was, I think I talked about it in this. Coldplay and Joe Satriani had songs that were basically exactly the same. One of them had a little different root on one of the chords, but otherwise the harmonies and everything was the same. Yeah, you get it. That's how it works. But yeah, Beach Boys, Chuck Berry, yeah. And they basically set the standard for understanding within rock music, but it didn't really, I mean, it was still already pretty well known, and when it came to publishing a book, it was like, duh. And they called it plagiarism, but they didn't really call it plagiarism in music until after some of these landmark cases in the 50s and 60s. And it continues to happen to these days. Tool was just drugged through the courts like crazy by their record label, just, and they got so sick of it that now they're writing in 9/8 every song, because then no one else is doing that. They're like, what can we do that's so obscure that no one can even copy it if they wanted to? And then when they do, it's too easy. We don't have to sit there in court forever. You just show them the printouts. Look, they got to be copying. Yep. Sweet little 16s. Yep. And you know what? There's something to be said. You know, there's a certain way you can homage. You know, and and there's a certain amount of it that you do it. Yes, copyright your mind. Yes, do that. Please do that. But I will be doing a show tomorrow. Today I got a little bit busy playing music and a little bit busy hanging with kids and doing other stuff. But I have Archie Monroe's number, and I'm gonna give him a call, and I want to hear what he has to say. Doesn't mean I'm necessarily going to agree with him or not. He might totally be a cool guy, and he might be a hard read. Who knows? I'm not expecting anything. He might be just one of us, and he might be totally honest about things and stuff. But I wanted to talk to Matt a little bit first and be like, hey, what is it that you noticed? What did you see? You know, and he saw direct YouTube rips, which is 100% plagiarism. When you don't call out the original composer. It's one thing if you call it the original composer and you go, hey, this is from this guy and I'm modifying it, a remix or whatever. Fucking have your fun. Have your fucking cake, dude. But don't have your cake and eat it too, and just skip calling out who it is that's the creator. And if you're missing out on what we're talking about, there's a guy on Spotify named Equinox who literally has taken my 15.5-minute song and just uploaded it, no changes, like it's his. And when you ask him about it, he either doesn't say shit or he gets in a tizzy with you. So he didn't fucking reply to me at all. Or if he did, I went and I was talking to 2 different people. I'm in 400 bands, and every day 50 of them have over 100 messages. So good luck finding your DMs in that. I get about 50 unique messages from people every day. And if I don't look at the messages and respond to all of them for like 3 or 4 days, there's literally of bold text in my app. And so it's like, oh my god. You know, I'm in fucking 400, almost 500 bands. 490 bands. Yeah, 490 bands. I'll accept a yes into any band, even if it's just me and some new guy. I'll be in any band. And anybody in a band can reach out to me or tag me in a song and go, dude, lay on this. Lay something on this. Doesn't mean I'm going to, but if I like it enough, I'm going to. And if you press on me enough, I'm going to. That's kind of how I am. I like this one. This one's cool. This RoboCop theme. Is it the RoboCop video game theme, or is this the RoboCop movie theme? New one or old one? Bushmills. Anybody know who Bushmills is? The alcohol brand? Bushmills started in 1608 when they finally allowed the distilling of liquor in Europe, all of Europe. The first place was allowed to do it was in Ireland, and they started distilling whiskey in 1608, and they still have that same distillery, that same building going ever since the 1600s. So, what is it? 412 years of making whiskey. I think they know what they're doing. They make a whiskey that literally will warm your blood, spin your head. It won't get you dizzy drunk. It'll get you goofy drunk, smiles drunk. I used to drink a fifth of that shit and still be jamming on my guitar. It wasn't until I had that pint of vodka that I was in fucked city and I couldn't fucking think straight anymore, and I wanted to go to bed because I was like spinning and dizzy. Derek's Blues and G. Sweet. Woke up in the morning, the sun was shining bright. Even though it was winter, my jet ski's calling out right. Yeah, my legs are cold, but my body's going 100 miles per hour. Oh, 100 miles per hour. My legs are cold, but my body's going 500 miles per hour. Oh, yeah. If you could change one thing about your song, I'd record it at 1,000 miles per hour. Oh yeah, 1,000 miles per hour.
That was cool, man.
See, some of these are just little quiet recording. The girl is sleeping. Shouldn't be in the middle of this. Sorry, didn't mean to wake you up. But I wanted to hear this peaceful song. Loop it and put a beat to it. Oh, I like that logo on the guitar. That guitar with a knife. Stabbing you with this rhythm. Yes, it was. It was a legal precedent. It kind of set the whole thing in the music perspective up, and it actually they refer to it in other cases, and at the same time they write contracts with that in mind. They write the contracts with trying to avoid that debacle. And they will do all kinds of things if you're in a record contract to make sure what you're creating is not violating a previous writer's creation. I don't know if it was the birth of the RIAA, but maybe it was. I don't actually know all my history on that. But I can tell you this much. When you write down a poem, when you write down a song, even if you have never played it before and you just start writing down these chords in a certain order, if it's unique, it's yours. Now, if you write, there's some certain chord structures that you're not going to be able to copyright, but you're going to be able to copyright it and the harmony over it. Or, yeah, it and the harmony over it. And the lyrics are yours, as long as you don't steal them. And just using a line of someone else's lyrics could get you in trouble. And you could lose all the profit from the entire album. You really could. It really can come down to that. Because what happens is the album, you're not getting 100% of the album. You're getting, let's say, 6 to 8%. But that album relies your profit and it relies on the music being yours. And if you have a stolen track in there that you didn't appropriate correctly, then what happens is they come at you and they get like 10%. So that you're going to cost your record company money, and they're going to take that out using litigation from your next record or your next record. So you don't want to be doing that. That being said, there's some times when you steal something, you just change it enough and then you can't get in trouble. So That's called inspiration, and there's a fine line between the two. I probably steal stuff in some of my songs, and I don't care. I'm giving a homage at that point, and it's not like I'm trying to make money at all on my stuff. Now that we have albums here on BandLab, I did make my stuff into an album, so I guess, you know, I got $20 of accountability. I made like $20 on my albums here on BandLab, which is, hey, more than some people, I'm sure. So, how can anyone lay claim to the non-physical? What's the non-physical? Like the dance moves? Because you can write them down. And isn't music physical? Yeah, it is. It's literally moving the whole world. Well, not just moving the whole world, it's actually moving all these particles. Just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Music is physical. Music, even if it isn't amplified through a speaker and you're not seeing that speaker move, the wood in your acoustic is vibrating. The vocal cords are vibrating. Those vibrations create sound waves, and those sound waves are actually electrons separating the electron from one molecule to the next molecule and separating all those molecules and causing a chain reaction. And they're going in a fine waveform. It's truly vibration. And you know what? Sound and light are the same thing at different frequencies. You up the frequency more and more and more, and sound becomes visual. And at a certain frequency, you see it. So for me, I feel like my body understands that. My physical being understands that naturally. And when I make music with my eyes closed, I can focus on the music only. And when I open my eyes, inspiration is divine. And it's pure. No matter what I'm looking at. Whether I'm looking at my boner or I'm looking at the fucking sheet music, it's fucking what it is, dude. I could be looking at a pile of shit, or I could be looking at fucking reflections of light against the wall. And I use math too when I play. But I use the math to I use it as a juxtapator. I use it like a stirring stick. Sometimes I can create a whole song in the math of the math of music, and then come home and then start playing it and be like, oh, but it needs a little bit of that meth, or I mean energy. Oh, this side here isn't all the way up to par. It isn't fully loaded. Happens. Inspector Gadget. Grow weed. Electric glove. Oh, this one looks like a sweet, solid 6-minute jam. I'm gonna get the tracks lined up again. There we go. Lined up enough. Electric love coming from above. You know, electric love. World will show you what you're missing. Oh, you know, electric love. Rain down from above. Electric love. Rain down from above. Oh, you know. Jason Burns. No, that's the guy from the Bourne Identity, right? Right? Tell me I'm wrong. He sold you a Line 6 Spider 3 HD Powerhead Must be an asshole. I mean, he must be hiding now. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I used to make fun of Line 6 so much until I got one, and I knew that there was a way they make them sound good. I knew, because out of the 25 shows I've seen with Line 6s, 20 of them sounded like they were far away in a cave because the guy didn't know how to turn off the cabinet feature and all this stuff, and it was plugging into a cabinet with a cabinet feature, and then it was mic'd, but he had a mic on. You turn it to the preamp setting, and then you plug it in, you know, to a power amp, and it becomes a totally different amp. But that being said, there was five or six guys that I saw using these Line 6s, and it must have been the same guy 3 times, I swear, but they would make them sound good. They would make them sound great. I still want to get myself one of those Syn 2 Synergy amps and like 4 modules for them. We'll see how much money I can make at BandLab. At BandLab. I can't make any money at BandLab. I can at Boeing here when I get back to work. PV valve keying, those are cool. I had a PV Supreme 160 for a long time. I threw it away because it manifested a issue where when it got warm, it would just all of a sudden start sending a massive transient, and it would just literally, you'd watch your cab just start smoking. Sometimes one speaker would survive, usually all 4 would die. And it would just happen. It would just happen. Like, if you're playing for months and all of a sudden just one day you're playing and it just, you had it up too loud or something and just, what? No! And you just gotta go get 4 more speakers. PV Bandit. I've had 3 PV Bandits 65s. With 112 on 2 of them and a 212 on 1 of them. 112. I had a 112 with a Scorpion. I had a 112 with a PV brand speaker. The one with the Scorpion I gave to a guy named Chris Zashi, or he gave it to me and I gave it back to him, or something like that. I borrowed it from him. And the 212 I got given to me from a guy named Sean Richardson, and that lasted a long time. I used that like crazy. And I think I did end up replacing one of the speakers with like a 121. I've always loved the solid state of the PVs. I used to have a PV power amp, tube amp. It was a 6L6 tube amp, and I put 7250s in it. And that's under my bed. It needs a little repair. I gotta work on that because that's a valuable piece. And I'm sure it's only like $10 a part at max. I had a crate for a couple months right before I got that Supreme 160. But if you guys don't know, that Supreme 160, I think I'm saying this right. It's a solid state 160 watt amplifier. Holy motherfucker! It was loud too. It was a sweet little jam. Sweet little jam, man. So I told him, I said, sweet jam, dude. Is it peach? I'm just kidding. I love the Super Sat. I love the Super Sat. But you gotta know how to dial it. Dial it back. You dial it back. Way back. And then you dial it way back, and you have to have a booster in front of it. And it could get just brutal. On the Super Sat, what's the name of the 3 bands? I know it's not high, bass, and low. It's like 3 other things, right? I'm gonna look it up. Super Sat PV knobs. Not knobs, PV settings. Bottom and edge. Bottom and edge. And you got to know how to use those. Don't use them a lot. And those are interesting because those were actually really good just like this. And they were not a 0 to 10. They were a cut or boost. Cut or boost, and that's the good setting. And you basically don't want to go outside of that window. For me, that's where it was. Right there in that window. And I had an EQ pedal I would use. That's what the fuck it was. Bottom and edge. Bottom and edge. It was usually cut a little bit of bottom. No, cut a little bit of edge and add a little bit of bottom, I think is what I usually did. And I think it was like pointing towards each other because it went... No, it was not. It was like this. Because it went edge then bottom when most of them would go bass and yeah. Usually they're like bass, mid, highs, and it makes sense because on a spectrum that's how they are. But instead they were like this, edge and bass. And so you did a little bit less edge, and a little bit like bass. And it's like this. Does it look like that? Yeah, there you go. It looks like that. Don't go like this. Just go like that. Right there. That's it. Check my phony, lonely, oh yeah, baloney. Tony, check my phony, baloney, yeah! Going in here, gonna go for a dive. Oh yeah, some of them had that. And then the Super Sat Post. This is a little bit of an earlier one than what I had. This is like what my 212 was like, this era. Mine was the green knob era. You know that I'm talking about, the green knobs? That looks a lot like my head though, that shape. And I painted my whole cab gray and my head gray and black camouflage. Oh yeah. And then all my graphics, my PV thing was yellow. I painted everything yellow. I kind of gave it my own look. And then once I got a VHT, I went with my VHT for 10 years. I rode with that VHT, and now I miss it. This amp is cool because it gives me a lot of access to effects, and it's very tweakable, but it is not as clean, and it's not as sweet and transparent. My grandpa played flamenco, bro. No, my grandpa didn't play. He played a fucking trumpet, I think. Or a trombone or some shit. He just liked to play with his tromboner. Fender Mustang jam. Standard tone all the way down. Clone, clone, clone. Standard clone all the way up. Up, up, up. Based on the picture, I said that. Look, he's using the right mix there. Looks like he's got cocoa and perlite. That's the way to go. I go 60% perlite, 40% cocoa. I rinse the shit out of my cocoa in my tub. I would just pour it all in there into this big old thing. Get it all wet, break it all up. Squeeze the water out, get it all wet. Squeeze the water out and really rinse all the salts out of my cocoa fiber so it was just flat. And then I would inoculate it with Roots Accelerator by Vanda Swan 2 days before my potting. And then I just put those, I could just literally cut those clones, dip them in the gel, clone gel, and put them right in there. And they... When I was lazy, I'd take the clones, and I'm like, I'm doing it in a couple weeks. I'd take the clones, cut them, and just leave them in the water with the clone liquid. Pour a little bit in there, and a little bit of, about half a milliliter of the Roots Accelerator in a cup. And then like a solo cup, so no light would get in, and then just leave them next to the window Boom. Knock, knock, phone check. Knock, knock, phone check. I can't play that. I can't play this. It will cut the song off. Well, I guess I could play it, but no one will hear it, actually. It'll just be like a guy moving around. There he is. He's in the light. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, damn. Oh, no. Oh, shit. I'm getting cravings. No, I'm just kidding. Man, I was such a good cloner. I passed on strains like crazy to people with clones. Like crazy. I'll have to watch that later. Like crazy, though. I got given a clone of a strain that this guy gave to one guy, and that guy gave to me. So I was the third person to have it, and it had been around since 1979. Williams Wonder. And I gave it to someone else because I was done growing and I had to pass it on, and I didn't want it to die away. But I do have seeds of it mixed with Dutch Treat hanging out for some other day. Who knows when I retire? Those fucking seeds last forever. I've given some of my granddaddy perp seeds to people. I've got like 500 of them. I've given them like a bag of like 10, and they grew granddaddy perps, no problems. And that was 10 years later, so I'm sure they're still fine. Keep them in bags and bags and bags. Sealed away from the world's diseases like COVID. Fuck that. What's your shirt say? I didn't see it. It was too many bright lights. I almost had a seizure, dude. Socially distant. Before it was cool. Yeah, I'm the opposite. I was hugging people. Everyone. They were like, dude, who's that guy? What the fuck's up with that guy? He's hugging everybody. I did arrow cloning. Done it all, just trying it. Arrow cloning was just noisy and really wet. I would come in there, and like a couple days later, like it'd be cold, really cold feeling, and it'd be like condensating onto like the counter it was in. Yeah. I was one of those guys that if you could read a paper in your grow room at night, it was too bright. I wanted it pitch black at night, and I didn't want a second of interruption in light. And I would go 13 hours at night, 11 hours in the day. I would never let them get Hermie with that 12-12. I was always sometimes I'd go as much as 14 and 10, and I'd grow like a week longer if I had to. The longest I ever went with the grow, I think, was 17 weeks, and that shit was like 35% THC, and it had what's called bulbous THC. I'll show you what that is. Bulbous trichomes. Bulbous. So, let me see if I can find the bulbous ones. There we go. See those little hairs? Right there? This is a standard trichome. And then there's a bunch of THC produced right here in this little bulb. The lower part there is the THC, and the upper part's going to have some small amount of cannabinoids and things that turn into THC when they combine together, right? And then this stalk of it is feeding it. These here above it, are called bulbous. And those bulbous right there, that's how you get the percentage of your weed way higher, by having everything covered in those bulbous, like this, right there. And then see down in the bottom of the bulbous, that's where the THC is forming. And then you get to see this shape happening. If you have your entire plant covered in these bulbous THCs, so that's called, then you're good. And when you get to that amber color, even in the bulbous THC, oh man. You got to use electricity if you can, or you got to go many years in. Look at this, triple capsulation. Complex bulbous, that's a complex bulbous. What are they called, Non-glandular, there you go, non-glandular. And these are the bulbous, so I had it wrong. And this is a capsulated stalk trichome. That's the normal type. This is a bulbous right here. This is a complex bulbous. These are, what are they called again? Unicellular non-glandular trichomes. But what's it say down here at B? Yeah, systolic trichome. Cystolithic. That's the type. I would have cystolithic all over my plant. All over my plant. Me and my buddy, we were always trying to compare who had the better it's been so long I couldn't remember the right term. Cystolithic. That's it. We would always compare who got their cystolithic trichomes to be amber. We had one plant that was, we had it tested, and we had one plant that was like somewhere over 15% CBDs, and that's the highest they could test for the CBDs at the time, and then 32 or something like that percent THC at the same time as we felt like it was 20% CBDs and like 32, 33% THC. We were over 50% of the weight was drug. Give me a gram, you're getting a half a gram concentrate and a half a gram leaf. And we would usually shoot for around 4% humidity in the plant matter. And we'd go in for 2-week cures. Usually we'd go 1 week and start selling, and then by the time we were done selling the main stuff that we had just grown, it'd be like 2 weeks later we'd be at like the 3-week, and we just leave the rest of the stuff that we're keeping in a bucket, and that shit would go for another couple months before our next harvest was ready. Decarboxylate, all that means is to heat it up. Decarboxylate just means to heat up your weed beyond 212 degrees. And then it decarboxylates. That's all that means. What you mean is superficial fluid extraction. That's a biomedical term. Superficial fluid extraction is when you use a solvent like butane or even CO2 to remove 212 for tetrahydrocannabinol. The boiling temperature of water is enough. Oh, maybe you're right. 212 is boiling water, I think, actually. And like 220 something was the THC. But 240 is a good temperature. You can get some browning. What I would find is the only time I would ever decarboxylate something is this. All my sugar trim I put into, let me think of the name of it. It's like a sugar. Let me think of it. Not glucose. Oh, man. What is it? See, I can't remember everything. But I would do this like edible tincture thing. I would convert it all to as much CBD as I could, actually. I'm trying to think of the name of this stuff. It's like a sugar that it's like a sugar that you can use as an ointment or like on your dry skin. Fuck. All my knowledge is gone. I don't care anymore about weed. It's how weird is that? I guess I'm in recovery now for reals. I still got a bunch of knowledge I could share. I should share it, but I think most people already knows all this shit these days. Fuck. But basically, long story short, it's like this clear. Man, what is it? Let's see if Skin Lotion Natural finds it. I don't think it will. It's gonna have a bunch of ads and shit. But it's an edible thing. And what I would do is I would put all my sugar leaf in there and leave it for about 6 months. And just every day roll it. Not coconut oil. Fuck. People use it on really dry skin. Black people use it a lot. And it's not coconut oil, and it's not olive oil. Fuck. Jesus. I'm trying to remember this. My brain isn't working. Types of sugar. Let me look at this up. Types of sugar. Lactose, brown, granulated, Yukon, coconut sugar, date sugar, palm sugar, glucose, fructose, lactose, fucking shit. Type of clear sugar. It's the thing that's part. Okay, what is antifreeze made from? Glycol. Food grade glycol. Glycogen. Fuck. Is it called glycogen? Yes. Glycogen, I believe it is. Something like this. It's glycol based. Food grade product, right? And people are always looking at me like twice, like, what'd you say this is? You know, like, what the fuck? I thought that was poison. And, glycogen, yeah. Glycogen is a form of sugar that can easily be stored by your muscles and liver. So I would take glycogen. You can get it. It's a form of a simple, it's like a simple natural sugar, right? You can get it food grade, and I would get that, and I'd put it in my, my ball jars with a strain and label this, fill it with as much sugar leaf as possible, fill the rest with the glycogen, and then seal it and just roll it every day. When I came in to check on my plants, it'd be in this little dark little cupboard on the wall, and I'd roll them all, and they'd be labeled with a date. And when I got to 6 months, sometimes a whole year, I would take them out, and then I would filter the glycogen out of the jar to a different jar, and then all the plant matter come out and back in, and then you could look at it, you could put a little bit and then look at a microscope, like a 60x microscope, and it would be filled with THC orbs, little orbs right on the top. And you could literally drink an ounce of that and get stoned as fuck. You could get stoned as fuck from an ounce of it. You could also have sore knees and rub it on your knees, and boom, your knees would have pain relief. It's fucking amazing shit. You could take like 4 ounces of it, but this is a lot of it, right? And you could put it in a hot tub, and boom, your hot tub becomes like a place to get high. Your hot bath. And no, so I would put it in there. When I was done, I'd strain it out. I would decarb it next. I would put it in an oil bath with a thermometer and decarboxylate it. That's why I fucking brain fart here. It's been so long. And after I took the plant matter out and I had just it in there, I would put it in and then put it in an oil bath and decarboxylate it 1 jar at a time for 2 hours. And then, yeah. And the old pens would have that. Glycogen. Glycogen and something else mixed together to make it, make them work. Oil pens, yeah. So basically that's what I was in the early days of that, in like 2013 or something like that. I was doing that, started doing that. So I was doing that long before this shit was common. I don't know if you guys know that 7 years ago this shit wasn't common. 2013, the Volcano vape unit had just barely come out. You know, a lot of this shit wasn't well known. Vegetable glycerin, basically. That's right. That's right. I'm gonna look up vegetable glycerin. That's it. Glycerin. I'm thinking glycogen is glycerin. Right? That's what the fuck it was. Jesus. Took me forever to get there. Thanks for chatting with me on this fucking thing. That's what it was. Fog machines had it. Yep. Imagine doing a fog machine of the THC decarboxylated glycerin. Get the whole crowd high. That's hilarious. Fuck. Took me forever to remember what the fuck I did. It was 7 years ago. Fuck, man. I had one of them that was like pink. It was like pink. Because it grew this strain called Purple Elephant. And that shit was so purple it looked black. And then it became like pink in the jar when I got all the sugar leaf off. It was crazy. I'm gonna go refresh the BandLab side, see if I'm getting a bunch of messages, but they're not coming through. That's been happening lately. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. We'll find out. Pissing the girl off, playing my guitar, smoking all this hash that I bubble from afar. Oh, you know it's great. Oh, you know it's great when it's blonde. Oh, yeah. This mic, sorry if it's been so long ago since you asked. This mic is a Groove Tubes GT55. Yeah. Groove Tubes GT55 from 2004. Now the technology is owned by Sterling, and it's called the ST55. Sterling mics, and so this here is a Sterling because they don't make the Groove Tubes mount anymore. Mine broke, and this is much hardier than the Groove Tubes one, which was like was not cast like this is. In case you were wondering, buddy. That was Cavawan 144K that asked that. Pissing off my girl, playing my guitar, smoking this hashish, oh yeah. So how would I smoke hashish? So I would take a glass and I'd put it on a counter upside down, and then I'd take a bobby pin, not a bobby pin, a safety pin, and I'd bend in the middle of it the pointy part up, so then it would sit like a V with a point sticking up. And then I'd take a chunk of it and squish it into a ball onto the tip of the pin, the safety pin, and then I'd light it. And once it got burning, I'd have the jar above, and the smoke would go up into the jar, and then I'd cap it down, and it would just fill up with smoke. And once it was totally full of smoke, it kind of put itself out, and then I'd take it off the edge of the table, smoke it, lift it up, let it usually light itself again. If it didn't, I'd light it again to get it going. Oh. It'd fill up with smoke, pull it off the edge of the table halfway, pull the smoke out of there, and that's how I did it. Worked great. It That's a great way to smoke your bubble hash and get every single gram of it in your body. The ways I would smoke. My number one favorite way to smoke weed is called waterball gravity. Now there's two ways that I would do a waterfall. The original way I started doing waterfalls is you cut the bottom off of a gallon and you put it in like your sink full of water, and you cut the cap of the lid, cut a circle out of it about this big, press some aluminum foil over it, poke some holes in it, or cut a hole in it and put a pipe bowl piece into it so it was tight, and then load that up with some tiny little bit, like a tiny little bit, a 1/10 of a gram or less, a 1/20th of a gram, you know, and then put that there with the lid, with the thing pulled up almost to the edge of the water, just a little bit. Now put the lid on, lighter, and as you go down, pull it up with the lighter, and the negative pressure would fill with smoke, and then I would do that. And then the second way was I took a vodka bottle, 5th, drilled a hole out of the bottom of it, just enough so you could easily cap it, fill it with water, put that top in it with the hole drilled in it and a little bowl piece in it, and then put your lighter and let go of the hole in the bottom. You're still holding it, but you're letting go of one hole. And as the water drained out, fill it with smoke, and then smoke that way. Oh man. Yeah, 1/4 of a pencil eraser, exactly. It's a little tiny little piece. And that was an effective way. If you had $10 of weed, it could last you a couple days. If you had a 40 bag, you could get it to last a couple days. Paperclip works good. Paperclip works good. I would use a bobby pin because for some reason, after I was done packing it, I would either have to pack it onto the paperclip, but if I had a bobby, if I had a safety pin, I could squeeze the ball and then poke it into it, and it usually wouldn't break it in half. We're talking weed because this guy's got a bunch of pictures of weed. Why not? This guy's trimming it up at home here with these trimmers. These are crazy looking trimmers. I never used trimmers like that. And I did it for a living. Now, what I would do when I did it for a living is I would just take the scissors. I wouldn't even move them like this. I would just have it here. I go tick, 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 tick. I just take it, go tick, 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 tick. Tick, 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 tick. Tick, 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 tick. Tick, 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 tick. I could literally trim $1,000 of weed in half a shift. I could trim half a shift. I could trim $1,000 of weed. Oh, I've been forgetting to drink this. It's getting cold. It's getting brutal. Oh, if you guys were wondering, this is my old high school cup here. It says, Class of 2000, Juanita Rebels. Hard to see with all the reflections. We were the Rebels. They just changed the name this year from the Rebels to the Juanita Ravens. Yeah. That's lame, dude. That's lame. Bobby pin ear cleaner right here. I don't use that one to smoke off of because it actually has a coating, like a paint coating. You'd have to really burn the shit out of that until it was metal and nothing but metal. What the fuck's the point of that? You got a paper clip. But here's something you can use that would work actually pretty good that I had used a couple times. You see this? This is for getting the SIM card out of an iPhone, and then you can bend that point up like this with the rest of it sitting down. So a iPhone SIM card remover worked pretty good. I'm not gonna break my SIM card remover though. There's a lot of shit that worked. You could actually get like a screw. You could actually just take like a screw. Like, let me see if I got a screw in here. I think I probably do. You could use any kind of wire, right? Or you could take like a screw even and put a big old chunk on the tip of a screw. You know, and it just sits on the head, like that. Oh, don't break your shit, Chris. There's a million ways. Take a wire, strip it. You know, a wire like this. Strip one of the wires and have it just sitting like this. In there. There's a million fucking ways. Hey, you recognize this? This is airplane wire. Got some more of it right here. This is a piece of wire from the very first plane that I did. From the very first plane repair I did. This is the excess wire. I'm keeping it. I like to keep little things like that. I'm kind of a collecting fucking nerd. I should label them all at some point before I forget what everything is. I start becoming senile. So when I die, my kids don't just throw everything away. They go, "Oh, dude, that was the first plane he repaired." Ray's song, sing along. Ray's song, sing along. Yep. Oh yeah. Cool little tune. What's this beer though? Grinder. I don't know that one. What was that stuff my rehab lady was telling me? She used to drink this stuff called green something. Green something. I'm gonna look up the name, see if I can find it. It's an old beer. Greenwood, I think it was. No, that's not it. Green River? No, I don't think that's like a kind of drink. Greasy Dick? I don't think that's what it's called, dude. I don't think she used to drink Greasy Dick. She probably drank from Greasy Dicks. But I don't think she drank Greasy Dicks. Speaking of Greasy Dicks, this fucking blog, it's a fucking blast to do. I could sit here for like 2 hours virtually talking. Greasy Dick. My favorite beer brand is Olympia. It's my favorite brand. It's my favorite brand name. The reason is because I was riding my bike to Chelan in a day from Bothell, 155-mile ride. And when I virtually got to the top of Stevens Pass, to the left of me, there's this Olympia truck. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to go take a picture next to it. And I go to take a picture next to it, and it says the name Burns on the side door because the driver of that truck was Burns. Somebody Burns. Some guy with the last name Burns. And he was an Olympia delivery driver. And for a while, I was drinking a lot of Olympia. And I actually like it. It's actually good beer. It's, you know, one of those, I like to call them wet beers or like a watery beer. I like those kind of beers. I like them when they're good. But my favorite of that type right now is Henry Weinhardt's Private Reserve. I could just drink that shit. My favorite. Stag beer. There you go. Like a stag party beer. I love the Private Reserve. When it comes to that kind of beer, that's my favorite kind. Messing around. Dropping likes, dropping likes. Old song I wrote when I was 16 is the name of this song. I got a bunch of those. I remake them here on the BandLab, and no one would know. Killer Dog is one of them. That's a song from when I was 16. In my bedroom when I first had my guitar. First years of guitar, it was kind of homage back then, or like influenced by back then, the power metal album, I believe it was, or power metal. I think it's a White Zombie album. It's a heavy drink. Is that the name of that album? I'm gonna look it up. Oops. Make Them Die Slowly. That was the name of the album. Yep. I think I just named the song Power Metal. That's what it was. Make Them Die Slowly. My favorite album by them is Los Exorcisto Devil Music Volume 2. That sounds like a good beer, by the way, that Sevilla in Spain, that beer you had. Oak casks, ooh. Really nice beers at like boutique breweries, stuff brewed in the size of like 2 gallons. That was a Deftones cover. This guy needs to take a little bit of the high end off on some of these guitars. I think maybe just doing direct in or something. Or just do like, shelf it down a little bit just to get it more gritty, or less gritty and more, less grainy and more gritty, if that makes sense. Well, I'm going to call that the blog. It was a good time talking to you there, DK. Mr. Cannon. I'm going to disappear here. Disappear and start dancing. Later, y'all. Remember, keep making music, keep BandLabbing. Have a nice fucking night.